Well, not in any order of priority, but the top 7 for me will be number 1, knowledge. Because if you know better, you do better. I've said it over and over again. If you are not informed, you'll be deformed. If you are not inspired, you will expire. If you are not updated, you'll be outdated. What you know determines how far you go. Those who know rule over those who do not know. Information is the key to transformation. So if you know better, you will do better. So number 1, knowledge, because everything you do is based on the knowledge that you have. Number 2 for me will be integrity, because you ask anybody who Olumide Emmanuel is, you most likely hear 1, 2, or 3 things. Wisdom, integrity are always at the top of everything you hear. Who is a man of integrity, is a man of wisdom. And that stems out of 2 things. Number 1, my upbringing. My father and mother brought me up and brought us up in such a way that even though they did not have money, they had values. Now, my dad will always say to me and say to us, a good name is better than silver and gold. My father worked in the Nigerian customs for 36 years. He's the only poor custom that I know. The only poor custom officer that I know that did not steal money. He was in custom and he still couldn't have money to build mansions and all this stuff because of integrity. And a lot of people look at that as a negative, but it's not, because those of us that were raised with that integrity are now able to do better with integrity. So my mom will always tell me, remember the son of whom you are. So from my upbringing, I always believed in integrity. When I now got born again, I now saw it in scripture. It was like, this is sealed. And I've made so much money based on integrity. Today, people patronize us because of that, because people will buy into you before they buy into your product. So anything with Olumide Emmanuel's name goes like that. Even companies invite me now to come on their board. I'm on the board of over 23 different companies. I'm a board chairman for many companies, simply because of that integrity, and I'm making a lot of money from that. Number 3 for me will be relationship. Relationship is very, very important. You rise or fall by relationship. In life, you don't go up, you are brought up.
Ooh, in life, you don't go up, you are brought up.
Yeah, because our parents brought us up. People brought you up through, your lecturers brought you up through knowledge. In life, people will bring you into their office by employing you, bring you into their, so you don't go up, you are brought up. Somebody has to bring you up. People that are up there have to allow you to come up there. And that's where relationship comes in. There are things that money cannot buy that relationship will give to you. Number 4 for me will be structure, system and structures. Because see, I define system, SYSTEM, as save yourself time, energy, and money.
Ooh, save yourself time, energy, and money. Wow.
So when you put system and structures in place, it saves you time, it saves you energy, it saves you money. And that's a lot of people ask me, are you a pastor and you are running 9 different companies? How do you combine all these things together? System and structures. When you put system and structures in place, I've come to realize that there are people that have courage, capacity, competence, and character, but they don't have the courage. They have capacity, competence, and they have what it takes to run a business, but they don't have the courage to start one. So they have the capacity to run a business, they have the competence to run the business, but they don't have the courage to start one. So I start businesses, I give them my courage, they use their competence and capacity to build the business, and the structure is there, I own it, they run it. And that's so most of the companies, you won't see my name there, you won't see, but I own it, they run it, because I put structures in place. The next thing for me will be patience. Because see, a lot of people in the world that we live in today don't want to go through a process. In the way things are done, even in the kingdom, is promise, process, performance. So God promises you something, or you have a dream, you have a plan, you go through a process, and then there is a manifestation. So you have to be patient. Anything that will last, anything that will endure goes through a process. But a lot of people are not patient. So people see some of us today, and they want to have what took us 30 years to have. They want to have it in 2 months. And it does not work like that.
It doesn't.
It came over time. Precept upon precept, line upon line. So, so that's why I will choose patience. Another thing for me would be probably number 6 or 5 or whatever would be communication.
Number 6, communication.
Communication. Communication is the lifeblood of any relationship, and effective communication keeps things going. I say to people, when it comes to relationship, the top 5 reasons for relational crisis is communication, sex, money, third parties, and unrealistic expectations. The top 3 will be communication, sex, and money. There is no problem we cannot solve except a problem we cannot discuss. So look at the Ukraine war. Look at the war in all the wars. They will still come to the table to discuss. At the end of the day, start destroying buildings and lives. They will still have to come and discuss. So communication. I'm a pastor. I've been ministering now for 35 years. Every life that I have changed is because of the words that came out of my mouth. So communication transforms lives. Everyone that has been destroyed, communication causes and destroys people. So communication is very powerful. The reason why the tree will continue to thrive is when it stays connected to the source of its creation. So you cannot succeed and be the best version of yourself if you disconnect from the source of your creation. When God wanted to create the trees, he spoke to the ground, let the earth bring forth trees. So as long as the tree continues to communicate with the earth, the tree will exist. When he wanted to create the fish, he said, let the sea bring forth the fish. In order for the fish to continue to succeed, he must stay connected to the sea.
My God.
There's no communication. When God wanted to create us, he did not speak to the ground, he did not speak to the sea, he spoke to himself. Let us make man in our image. So if we disconnect from our creator, we are disconnected by that discommunication, and then we are not going to see the manifestation of who we are. But if you stay connected to the source of your creation, that communication keeps you growing. And that's
my God. My God. The seventh one. The seventh one
will be wealth creation. Wealth creation. Wealth is created. It's not automatic. Someone has to take responsibility for the creation of the wealth, and you have to be willing to pay the price to create the wealth. And wealth creation takes time. And those are the top 7 for me.
Oh my God. And you landed on wealth creation because we are talking about wealth, the mindset of the wealthy, the rich, and the poor. So Doc, what is the difference between the mindset of the wealthy, the rich, and the poor?
Okay, so now I love the way you have divided them into 3, not 2, because we could have been saying the rich and the poor. But you see, the wealthy is different from the rich is different from the poor. So I will start from wealth and riches. Riches is cash based, is money based. Wealth is asset based. So you can be rich and not be wealthy. So any fool can be rich. If I give you 100 million now, you are rich, but you are not wealthy. If you win 100 million through the lottery, you are rich, but you are not wealthy. If you inherit 100 million, you are rich, but you are not wealthy. Because if you have money, a lot of people are so poor that all they have is money. They are so poor, all they have is money.
Oh my God.
You can be a kidnapper and you have money. You can be a drug dealer, you have money, but that doesn't make you wealthy. It makes you rich, but it doesn't make you wealthy. Wealth is holistic. So my own book, I for instance, in most of my books, maybe in Pathway to Wealth, School of Money, I spoke about wealth. For you to be wealthy is a complete holistic thing. So wealth is asset-based, not just cash-based. Health is wealth. Relationship is wealth. Your spiritual is wealth. Experience is wealth. That's how we talk about wealth of experience. So wealth is holistic. So wealthy people are people that are not just about making money, but about making impact. Wealthy people are not people that are just about having riches. They are about leaving a legacy and making the world better than the way they met it. So when you have wealth mentality, is impact mentality, is legacy mentality, is transformation mentality, is value mentality. But when it comes to the rich people, is about having money to fulfill your purpose, your dreams, and your aspiration. So you just have money so that you can do what needs to be done. And there's nothing wrong in that, but there's a higher dimension than just being rich. But when it comes to the poor, we begin by defining poor, P-O-O-R, as passing over opportunities repeatedly. So the poor are people that pass over opportunities repeatedly, and the first opportunity they pass by is the opportunity to learn. Poor people are not willing to learn. They want to get something for nothing. They have the delusion of grandeur. They want to have returns without investment. So you see a poor man, they are asking you for money, you give them a book, they say, "In a book I go chop."
Oh.
Because as far as they are concerned, they don't understand. You see, when you put a bunch of banana and $1 million on the table in front of a monkey, the monkey will choose the banana always. Because the monkey is not aware that if he chooses money, he can buy banana. And he can. So when you see poor
You can
people,
own a banana plantation.
yeah. When you see poor people, they always pass over opportunities. Opportunity to learn, they don't want to. And a seminar will go chop. All this aspire to perspire to acquire what you require. They talk down on knowledge. They talk down, and whatever you mock, you cannot attract. Go on today, you see all manner of poor people with 200 naira recharge card, insulting pastors, insulting rich people, insulting people older than their father, insulting people that have achieved what they cannot achieve in 20 years. Why? Because of their mindset. It's a mindset. When we talk about poverty, there are 5 dimensions of poverty. When you look at the poverty spectrum, number 1, poverty is a spirit. Number 2, poverty is a mindset. Number 3, poverty is an habit. Number 4, poverty is a lifestyle. Number 5, poverty is a state. So when you see a poor man, the first thing you see that makes you know that he's poor is that you see him in a state of poverty, a state of lack and hardship, a state where he lacks what he needs. You see it from his dressing, you see it from his speech, you see it from does he have money, does he have car, does he have, so it's the state of poverty you see first. But behind that state of poverty, there are many things that produce that state. But if that poor man shows up in a church, because I'm a pastor, I've been in ministry now 35 years, full-time ministry, been in church 37 years. I have discovered religion is more dangerous than the devil. Religion has caused more trouble for people than the devil himself. Christianity is not a religion, it's a relationship with your creator. When you practice Christianity as a religion, you are going to be a pawn in the hands of charlatans. When you practice Christianity as a religion, you are going to be a victim of the myopic, inexperienced, inexposed, limited worldview of the person you are listening to. So,
oh my God,
a poor man shows up in church and he meets with a pastor that is a religious pastor. They will tell him that the reason why he's poor is because there is a devil, there is a spirit, there is an altar of his father's house, there is a village people troubling him, even though the guy is useless and unproductive and is not offering anything. They will now tell him that they need to deliver him from poverty, and they will fast and pray and cast out the devil and all those stuff. So what happens is that they are now going to the spirits. But guess what? You saw the state of poverty. You went to the spirit of poverty. Okay, now after removing the spirits, what else? Now you realize that the spirit of poverty has been dealt with, but the mindset of poverty is still there. The habit of poverty is still there, and the lifestyle of poverty is still there. So the real problem of poor people is poverty mindset. So poverty is more of a mindset than a state of life.
Oh my God.
You have 100 million and still be poor because of poverty mentality, and the money will reduce. Look at the Jumoke money bread. Look at her story, and God is going to give her a second chance because God is a good God. But
Amen.
there are people like her that has won lottery, won money. They got money that they did not have the capacity to handle. Because any money you don't have the wisdom to make, you will not have the wisdom to manage it. Oof. Any money you don't have the wisdom to make, you won't have the wisdom to manage. That's why people win lottery and they remain poor. So poverty is those dimensions. So we need to now deal with poverty mentality. But you see, the spirit of poverty can be cast out with one prayer. But the mindset of poverty takes a lifetime to be eradicated. You have to continue to learn, unlearn, relearn, and go through. So it is that process of becoming that people don't want to go through. They don't want to go through that process. So that virus is still there. Colonial masters left us over 60 years ago. Colonial masters left us over 60 years ago. Are we really free? Are we really independent?
No.
Is dependence independent? That's what poverty does.
Wow.
Poverty will leave you with a software of poverty. So the poverty software is what is now running the life of many people. And that's the mindset. So even if you give them money, they will waste it on useless things to try to people that don't love them, to try to, have a good name before people. Some people have what we call approval addiction. They want to be in the good book of everybody, whereas they are just suffering and smiling. So
my God.
A lot, my brother, is a lot.
It's deep. Wow. Let me pause a bit. Take it all in. The next question I want to fire is, what are the principles of wealth creation?
Okay, like I said earlier on, I'm going to say a few things that I call facts about wealth creation. They are in my book, How to Create Wealth as a Career Person. I documented the facts that people need to know about wealth creation. Fact number one is that there is a wealthy place. Everybody can be wealthy. Because one of the major viruses that has kept many people poor is what I call the scarcity mentality. People are made to believe that there is scarcity, there is not enough to go around. That's a scam. There's no scarcity anywhere. You see, if you say there is no money in your pocket, you are right. If you say there is no money in your bank account, you are right. If you say you don't have money in your life, you are right. But to say there's no money in Nigeria, you are a liar. To say there's no money in the world, you are a liar. Why? Because all the money on earth is still on earth. It didn't travel.
I keep telling people that I have never seen an airplane or a rocket that moves money out of earth to heaven. So you're right. It is here. Yeah. Wow. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
On earth is still on earth. It didn't travel. Aliens did not carry it. So if you say you don't have money, it's not because there is no money. It's because the money is with somebody else.
My God.
That's what they call it currency. Currency is either flowing to you or it's flowing away from you. Money is a currency. So every wealth is, so number one, there's a wealthy place. Everybody can be wealthy if they know what to do. Number two, there's a path that leads to the wealthy place. If you identify the path and you take the trip, you will get there. Number three, wealth is created. Somebody has to take responsibility for the creation of the wealth. It's not automatic. Wealth is created. You find out that when you become successful, everybody wants to find out, what's the secret of his success? How did he make money? Nobody investigates the source of your poverty.
Ooh.
It is your ability to investigate the source of your own poverty. Why is my father poor? Why is my mother poor? Why was my grandfather poor? When you now sit down to investigate, you will now be able to make the decision that will change the story. Number four, wealth creation takes time. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a luta. I want to do it. No, it's not 419. It's not Yahoo Plus. No, it takes time to create wealth. Number five, there are ingredients for wealth creation. If you want to create wealth, there are ingredients. The same way you enter kitchen and you begin to cook with ingredients. To create wealth, there are ingredients. Those are the things we call the laws, the principles, the keys, the strategies of wealth creation. Number six, there are vehicles for wealth creation that will take you from one place to the other. So all these and many more are what we call the different things that I call the fact about wealth creation. But if you now want to be wealthy, there are now laws of wealth creation. And then there are
there are laws and
there are laws of wealth creation, and then there are vehicles of wealth creation.
So let's look at top 5 laws. Let's look at 3 vehicles.
Okay. So number one law is the law of financial intelligence. The law of financial intelligence. If you know better, you will do better. A lot of people are educated, but they don't have financial education. Because if you're going to become successful, there are 5 kinds of education you need to have. You need spiritual education, you need personal education, you need marketplace education, you need academic education, and you need financial education. Now, when I say academic education, a lot of people say education is a scam. Education is a scam. No, education is not a scam. The curriculum is the scam. You need education. Because education will do 4 things. It will help you to read. Number 2, it will help you to write. Number 3, it will help you to do calculation, arithmetic and mathematics. Number 4, it will help you to be able to think analytically. So you need also, but you need financial education. So the first law of wealth creation is the law of financial education, law of financial intelligence. You need to understand money. What is money? How do I make it? How do I manage it? How do I multiply it? What is compound interest? So you understand money. That's number 1. Number 2, the second law is the law of delayed gratification. The law of delayed gratification. You cannot eat with 10 fingers. You cannot eat everything. If you spend everything you have now, you are a fool. Because every money is tripartite. So you cannot eat everything now and expect to have a future. So number 1 is the law of financial intelligence. Number 2 is the law of delayed gratification. Every money you are making now, a portion of that money belongs to your future. So you need to push it into the future. Number 3 is the law of savings. The law of savings. You need to save. If you don't save, you are not safe. What you save today will save you tomorrow. I did a series last year. It's on my YouTube channel at Dr. Olumide Emmanuel on YouTube. How to develop a savings culture, part 1 to 5. Because if you don't save money, there's no way. You see, savings is not an investment, but savings is required for investment. Because savings help you to set money aside for investment. So there are many reasons why you save. One of them is so that you can have money to invest. Another reason why you save is so that you can have what we call a safety net. Because in the world of financial intelligence, we tell people you need to have between 6 to 8 months of your living expenses saved up in cash, so that when eventualities come, you have money to take care of yourself while you are transiting a season, or to maximize opportunities when they come. So the fourth law is the law of investment. The law of investment. As you save, savings is not an investment, but you now need that money that you have saved to now put into an investment. So when you now invest, So savings is setting money aside for a purpose. Investing is sending money on assignment for a return. So when you are investing, you are sending money on assignment for that money to now bring a return to you. Then number 5 will be the law of multiple streams. So the 5th law of wealth creation is the law of multiple streams. So you don't just invest, you create multiple streams and multiple sources of income, so that money is coming in different dimensions. And under multiple streams, there are 5 dimensions. So you need to have multiple streams across geography. If all your money is in Kano and there is battle in Kano, you are finished. There are people that suffered during the time. All their money was in Kano. All their money was in Kaduna. One riot, they are finished. There are people that had money in Ife, Modakeke. All their investment was in Ife. They became poor because they had money in one geography. If all your investment is in Ukraine, you are finished by now. So you have multiple streams across geography. Number 2, you need to have multiple streams across industry. If all your money is in one industry, you are in trouble. All those that had investment in entertainment alone, they became poor during COVID. All their hotels were shut down. Their event center could not work. They could not rent equipment. They couldn't go for comedy show. They could not go and sing anywhere. Nobody was inviting them. All they had was in one industry and one sector. They suffered. You need to have multiple. Number 3, you need to have multiple streams across currency. If all your income is in Naira, you are a poor man. If I gather your 1 billion now and I change it to pounds, you are no more a billionaire. So you need to have money, multiple streams. You should be making money in dollars, in pounds, in Naira, in different currencies. And then you need to have multiple streams of income across realms. If all your income is in this world and there's nothing in the afterlife for you, you are living a miserable life. For what shall they profit against the whole world and lose his soul? Because everything you're doing now, if you are not impacting the lives of people, if you are not paying school fees for people, giving people scholarship, helping the widow, transforming the lives of the poor, if you are not living a legacy that transcends this natural world, everything you have will end. The day you die 6 feet, you are finished. You arrive on the other side as a poor man and cry like Lazarus.
Wow. So you talked about creation of wealth. Then you talked about sustenance of wealth.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the 3 vehicles.
Okay.
First, then we will go back to how do you sustain wealth. So 3 vehicles to create, and then we will come back to how do you sustain the wealth that you have created.
Okay. A vehicle is a means of transportation from point A to point B. Where you are right now is your present financial position. Where you desire to be financially is your desired financial destination. Between your present financial position and your desired financial destination, there's a gap. That's what we call the wealth gap. So your wealth gap and my wealth gap can never be the same, because nobody will be on the same. Even twins are not on the same level. So there's nobody that is your classmate. They can be in the same class with you. Nobody is your classmate. You are in the class all by yourself. Because we may be age mates, we are not grace mates. We may be classmates, we are not opportunity mates. There are many things that we see. So the distance between point A, your present financial position, and point B, your desired financial destination, is that wealth gap. To take you from point A to point B, you need a vehicle. Many people use paid employment to try to move from point A to point B, but it doesn't work because it takes a lifetime. So you work for 35 years and you finish working. By the time you finish, they pay you, depending on the sector, between 2 million to 100 million. So you want to make 100 million after 35 years when you can make 100 million in one good deal. You want to make 5 million after 35 years when you can make 35 million in one good deal. So instead of using paid employment, Because if you are using paid employment, you are like somebody that is trekking. Somebody that is, if you can trek or walk from Lagos to Abuja. Somebody did it for, say, Baba, and regretted it. Another one has done it for Akiwaju, and is already having a rethink. So you can trek from Lagos to Abuja. Somebody else can drive from Lagos to Abuja, but somebody else can fly from Lagos to Abuja. The person flying will get there first, not because he's more intelligent, not because he's better, not because he's holier, not because there are no witches in his village, but because he used the right kind of vehicle. The person that is trekking may never arrive, depending on being on the road and the bandit on the road. The person driving may get there after many hours or a day. So when it comes to vehicles, paid employment is trekking. But I have many of the vehicles that I want, but because we are talking to number one will be entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. Start your own business. Have a business you are involved in that is offering products and services, that is solving problems and meeting needs and offering value. Because money flow in exchange for value. So when you own a business of your own, you can grow that business, take it public, exit it, and relax, and other people run it, and you continue to enjoy life. Number two will be for you to go into investment. You don't need to own all, you can own a part of the business. So it's better to own 10% of $1 billion than 100% of 1,000. So you can be an investor in other people's businesses. Imagine now, Flutterwave, Paystack, Zoom. Imagine that somebody invested, you know what happened with even Ebony Life, those that started at the initial place with that little money, when we went to Calabar, and people that cashed out when the whole thing blew up to globe. So there are people that can invest little, and you can be a part owner of different businesses. That becomes a vehicle. So there are people today that are investors. You know Jeff Bezos today, you know Mark Zuckerberg, but there are people that you don't know that are making more money. They own 10%, they own 5%, and they are just sitting at home enjoying their return. And then number three is real estate, which is the patapata of them all. Because real estate is the only vehicle of wealth creation that is also a vehicle of wealth retention. It not only helps you to create, it helps you to retain. And over 96% of rich and wealthy people on earth, their wealth is stored up, not in cash, but in real estate. So those are the top three vehicles that people need. And with that, with time, you will always be good.
Wow. This is so solid. Thank you very, very much. So how do people sustain wealth?
Now, one of the things you need to set when it comes to wealth sustenance is, why do you want to be wealthy? Because it begins with the purpose for the wealth. You see, a lot of people start out in life with survivor mentality. They just want to do business. Let me just make money to take care of myself, take care of my children. If survivor mentality is the reason why you went into business, is the reason why you are pursuing wealth creation, you cannot sustain the wealth. So let's go to the roots. Survivor mentality cannot build a transgenerational business. Survivor mentality cannot build sustainable legacy. Because once you have survivor mentality as the catalyst that moved you into the whole thing, when you finally have money, the drive, the vision to go on will no more be there, because you will just settle. And once you settle, the engine will knock and things will begin to fall apart. That is why we don't have a lot of third generation businesses and third generation wealthy, because the first generation is always a generating generation. They are pioneers, they generate. But you see, the second generation will now come and enjoy what the first generation generated. They end up becoming a maintenance generation. Oh, let's maintain what their mommy has done. Oh, let's not destroy what they did. Oh, they come up with all this kind of formula. But you see, the third generation did not know how the wealth came. They were born into wealth. They are probably born abroad. They have foreign passport. They have dual citizenship. They went to private school. They don't know what is Molue. They don't know BRT. They don't know Okada. They don't know Korokwe. They don't know tricycle. Driver is driving them everywhere. They don't know how to cook. There's gateman, there's cook, there's gardener. So those third generation, they are always an entitled generation. And by the time you get to that third generation, the wealth dies. That is why by the time the third generation gets there, they don't even know how the wealth was created in the first place. So they can't maintain what they did not create. So to sustain wealth, we have to start from that internal aspect. Don't go into business because you want to survive. Don't build wealth because you want to survive. Build wealth because you want to make impact and leave a legacy in the world. You want to do something that will outlive you. When that is your mindset, you are not doing business because of your children. Because a lot of people now are beginning to realize, all this, I don't want my children to suffer what I suffer. I don't want my children. We have raised useless children. We have raised late children. We have raised dependent children. We have raised disabled adults. We have raised entitled children that are now using the house we built to smoke Igbo. They are now selling they are selling your businesses now to take cocaine and to go and do nightclub and to do runs. Because they don't know. I've raised them without any tenacity, without any value, without any structure in their life. So many people that are saying I'm doing business so that I can hand over to my children, foul. Your children are not this is why you should be doing business, because they may not be interested. If I tell you of my mentees now, billionaires, millionaires that are frustrated, they have sent their children abroad for better life. The children are not returning. Now the company is there, the business is there, the children are not interested. Nobody to hand over to. Why? Because they started it because of this mindset of me and my family. And that's Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, they are not doing it for family. That's why they are going to sustain it. So we need to settle that one first. So build the business for legacy, for impact, for sustainability. And once that becomes your mindset, the next thing that will help you is system and structure. Put system and structure in place where people don't run your business by biology. They run your business by capacity and competence. So that you have a son does not mean your son must run your business if he doesn't have the brain and the capacity to handle it. That your son is your first son and is your third girl, your third child that is a girl that has the capacity, does not mean you say because she's a girl, you won't hand it over to the girl. Because men are not better than women, women are not better than men, we are only different from each other. There is no, we are of equal value and equal excellence in God. So once you understand system and structure, you can now put, the right people in the place to run the business. Because once you have corporate governance, you have the right, compliance, system and structure, the business can run without you. And you can hand it over to a trust and they can run it. And then it becomes a business that runs even after you die. So we can go on and on. But you see, many of these things that we're saying now, they are free. And when people don't pay, they don't pay attention.
Honestly. But our own viewers, our own listeners are going to apply it.
Okay. Because sometimes you see all these things and it's like, because they are giving it free, they think it's cheap, they think it's just like that, and they don't want to pay for mentorship, pay for coaching, pay for things that will help them. But I believe you, we have mature people here, we trust that they will use it, and we have testimonials.
Thank you very, very much. Now, how does your environment and your background, how does it influence your financial mindset? I mean, we've broken it down, the wealthy, the rich, and the poor. So their background and the environment, how is it of influence to each of those categories?
Great influence. There are many people we know today that we see and we say, this person is a born entrepreneur, is a born this. By the time you sit down with them, you realize they grew up with their grandmother that was an entrepreneur. They grew up with parents that were doing business, and from day one, they have been carrying bag of rice, carrying gari, carrying this. They have been waking up by 5 a.m. to peel yam, to cut plantain. So they grew up having to fry plantain, having to hawk ogi. So they grew up in an environment where selling to make money, going to meet people you don't know to sell something to them, it's all part of, because see, that's, street smarts gave them courage, gave them negotiation skill, gave them eyes for opportunity, gave them tenacity, gave them the ability to handle the no's of life. All those things, business school cannot give it to them. So that environment helped them. Some people grew up in families where, an environment where nothing was working for them. The only thing that was able to take them out of that environment was their imagination and their mind. They were able to transfer themselves out of that physical environment in their imagination to create a picture. And then they were able to end up in the future that they pictured. Because so your environment will affect you. The association, your upbringing, it will always affect you. But the fact that your background is negative does not mean that your back should be on the ground. The fact that you came from a poor background does not mean you must be poor. Your background, your environment will affect you, but you can rise above it. There is a species of the shark, my brother. There's a species of the shark that when you put it in an aquarium, it cannot grow beyond the shape of the aquarium. But that same species of shark, when you take it out of the aquarium and take it into the ocean, in 3 months, it will grow to its full capacity. So you see, many of the
My
people
God.
in Nigeria that say, the guy, when he was in Nigeria, he was not doing well. When he jackpot like this, things began to move. No, he was a species of Nigerian that was in an aquarium called Nigeria. He had the potential to do more, but the environment limited him. When he now got to the ocean of the Western world, he was able to grow to his full potential. But there are some of Nigerians that are lizards in Nigerian ocean. That when they were in the ocean of Nigeria, they were lizards. When you take them abroad, they will still fail. Because what you don't have, you don't have. So it's not the environment, it is what you have inside that came out because the environment enhanced it. So everybody, one way or the other, can be affected, limited, impeded, encouraged, helped, assisted by the environment. It's all a function of perception and interpretation of your reality. When you have
my God.
Because perspective changes things. What somebody else sees as an obstacle, somebody else sees it as an opportunity. Nigeria today, everybody is complaining, but crisis creates opportunities. Crisis creates opportunities. So what you are seeing as a crisis is an opportunity. You say, hey, there's no light, we need power. That means there's money in power, in the power sector. That means there's money. All this Nigeria, the health sector, that means there's money there. Anywhere you are seeing people complaining, that means there's money. If you solve the problem, money. So yes, environment. It's both the poor, the rich, everybody. Look at Dangote. Have you ever heard Dangote's voice crying in the media like he has done in the last 1 year? For the first time, Dangote is everywhere talking. A man that quiet. Have you ever seen Adenuga come to shout or talk before? Dangote, these people don't talk. But the environment is affecting even a billionaire like Dangote. Because Nigeria can make a mess of anybody. You can do everything right and still be wrong. Look at what they did to my friend Paul Nwanibe, Landmark. Somebody that paid $17 million for a land, that have all his documents and everything. You are shifting location. Somebody that paid over 10 billion as taxes in 2023. Then 60 days later, you are destroying 60% of his revenue. What kind of country? So your environment affects you, whether you are a billionaire or you are. My brother, whether you are poor, rich, or wealthy, environment will affect you. How you interpret it and what you do to continue to thrive.
Wow. Let me ask one last question as we begin to round up. So you find out that you came from a background of poverty. You come from a background and an environment where, like you have described, things are tough, things are hard. And over time, it has limited your mindset. And so you're operating from a limited poverty mindset. How do you shift your mindset from a poverty mindset to a wealth-oriented mindset? From a poverty perspective or a lack perspective to a wealth-oriented perspective as a last question?
Well, let me just give you two: knowledge and association. Number one, it begins with knowledge. If you know better, you will do better. Everything you have today is knowledge that made you, both positive and negative. You say, yeah, I'm a medical doctor. Is it not book they taught you? Is it not knowledge they give you that say you're a doctor? I'm an engineer. I'm a lawyer. It's book they taught you. It's knowledge they give you. So whatever you are now is based on the information and the knowledge you have acquired before now. So if you don't like where you are now, change the information. When you start developing your mindset in the area of wealth, I say to people, in any area of life where you want to become successful, read the number of books commensurate to your age in that area. So if you are 35 years old and you want to succeed in a relationship, go and buy 35 books on relationship. You will succeed in relationship.
One for each year.
One for each year. If you are 40 years old and you are poor and frustrated, go and get 40 books on finances. Read it. You will shock. You go shock you. The entire system will be rejigged. In those days when we're growing up in the spirit, when you want to do deliver, go and carry Bill Subrisky. Buy deliverance book like 50. Read. You'll be seeing demon everywhere. Go and buy book on healing, how to heal the sick, 7 ways to cast out devil. So whatever you impute into you, the frequency with you'll be tuned to the frequency. You begin to flow.
My God.
So when it comes to change mindset, books, knowledge. If you're not informed, you'll be deformed. If you're not inspired, you'll expire. If you're not updated, you'll be outdated. What you know determines how far you go. Information is the key to transformation. Those who know rule over those who do not know. If you know better, you will do better. I have loads
My
of
God.
You have loads of books that has helped people. I'll probably talk about them before we close. Number 2 is relationship association. Who you move with determines what moves with you.
My God, my God,
Who you
my
move
God.
with. If you move with poor people, a poor man cannot help a poor man. A poor man cannot help a poor man. If you move with 5 rich people, you'll be the 6th one. It's not a joke.
Wow.
The people you move with determines what moves with you. So you need to make sure that you begin to connect with the right kind of people. Don't be proud. Don't be arrogant. Go for mentorship. If you know someone that is doing something you have not done before, go and seek counsel. My brother, how you do it? Cut soap for me now. Show me the road. Let them show you. This is the way we do it. This is what I do. And then humble yourself and learn and go through the process. A lot of people are poor because everybody around them is poor. If you need 10 million now, do you have anybody around you that can drop 10 million? If you need 1 million now, do you have anybody you can call and say, guy, I best quickly send me 1 million? If you look all around you, you don't have people you can call without any explanation. To say, guy, sorry, send me 1 million. My son later, without story, you are in trouble. Oh, low, too late.
Wow.
You don't have money.
My God.
You don't your party. So you need relationships to help your mind. The people you move with will help your mind. Then let me add one more: environment. Environment helps your mind. A lot of people are like fishes in an aquarium, celebrating mediocrity. You are, like a one-eyed man in the midst of blind people. You say you are a king until a miracle worker comes and opens everybody's eyes, and they see that you are limited. You are just a deceiver. So when you go to the right environment, you will change by force, because by the time you look at everywhere, do you know the way? You know how when you paint your house, you start seeing that this wall clock is no more fitting into this place. So all the socket that is dirty, when you paint everywhere, the socket will not say, we need to change the socket. Why? Because you have. So when you go to an environment that is greater than you, your brain will start telling you, adjust. You will start, your mindset will start adjusting. So information, association, environment, and those are the trinity.
Powerful. So you've laid a lot of emphasis on knowledge. So fire chat, one question, last one. Your top 5 books.
They are here. 50 common money mistakes to avoid. By Olumide Emmanuel. Bridging the gap between the rich and the poor. By Olumide Emmanuel. A pathway to wealth.
Wow.
By Olumide Emmanuel. How to create wealth as a career person. By Olumide Emmanuel. The School of Money book. By Olumide.
I love that one. The School of Money.
Wow. Why did I recommend only my book? Because every book I've read in my life that has changed my life, they are in the School of Money book. I have an entire chapter on the books that made me wealthy. All the books documented it in the School of Money book. So by the time you have this School of Money book, every book I have read that helped me to get to where I am, I documented it there. And
right, sir. Wow, that was phenomenal. One last fire chat question. You laid a lot of emphasis on knowledge. When we are talking wealth, when we are talking creating wealth and sustaining wealth, what will be your 5 top recommended books for anybody?
They are all here. 50 common money mistakes to avoid by Olumide Emmanuel. Bridging the gap between the rich and the poor by Olumide Emmanuel.
Wow.
The pathway to wealth by Olumide Emmanuel. How to create wealth as a career person by Olumide Emmanuel. The School of Money book by Olumide Emmanuel.
Wow.
Why did I recommend my books? Because every book I have read that helped me to become what I am today, I documented them here. I have an entire chapter on the books that changed my life. So by the time you buy this one, you will see all the other books I've read by all the different authors globally that has helped me to be where I am today, because I'm a student of books for life.
One last question, fireside chat. You laid a lot of emphasis on knowledge. Now we're talking wealth, we're talking riches, we're talking creation and sustenance. 5 top books that people must buy on wealth.
Well, fortunately, I have 5 of my books here. I've written over 100 books. And I have loads of books on wealth creation, but I actually brought 5. I didn't know you were going to ask this question. I have 5 of them that I wanted to introduce to us. 50 common money mistakes to avoid. By
My God.
Bridging the gap between the rich and the poor by Olumide Emmanuel. The pathway to wealth by Olumide Emmanuel. How to create wealth as a career person by Olumide Emmanuel. And then the School of Money book by Olumide Emmanuel. Why did I recommend only my book? Because every book I've read that changed my life, I documented it in the School of Money book in a chapter called The Books That Changed My Life. So all these books, they get my books, they will now know all the other books in my life and help me to get to where I am.
Wow. And how can they get these books? How can they get these books?
3 ways. You can go to Amazon and get it on Amazon. Number 2, you can go to my website, www.olumideemmanuel.org/shop, SHOP. And there's a secure payment platform. You pay, you can any card, pay stack, you pay. So then number 3 is to contact me. Follow me on my social media, send me a DM so that I can give you the office. I have office in Nigeria, 4 Nigeria. We have office in the UK, in Australia, in South Africa. We have office in New York, in Houston, and in Atlanta. We have office in Canada. So we have offices all over the world. So follow me on my social media now. On Instagram at Olumide Emmanuel. On Twitter, X at Olumide Emmanuel. On Facebook, Olumide.Emmanuel. Send us a DM. We'll now let you know which country and which phone number or which office to go to. And then thank you, my brother. Thank you for this opportunity.
And it's a wrap. Wow. Thank you very, very much, Dr. Pastor Olumide. Wow.
Thank you for taking time to watch this video. We believe you've learned something of great value. On this channel, we share videos on finances and wealth creation from biblical perspective. You can find more similar videos on this channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Let us know what you've learned in the comment section.